Ron X, Mr. X,
Uh,
X-rated. How did you get that name actually? How did you get the X-rated moniker? Or
it's
is that not a PG story? It doesn't sound like it.
no, 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 it's not what everyone thinks it is. So,
Mm,
very, very long time ago when I started teaching professionally, I didn't actually know I was doing it professionally yet. Um, but yeah, so one of the venues that I was playing at asked me after my first set there, they asked me if I would come back. I'm like, okay, cool, I'd love to come back because this was in the CBD in town in Cape Town.
mm,
So this was the first thing at that time, um, because at that time, if you played in town, you basically made it, anyways. So after a couple of gigs there, I played a couple of nights there. They asked me if I wouldn't want to if I wouldn't be interested in hosting an event at the venue. Because every time I played, a few of my friends came,
mm.
and it was a lot of friends at that time. Anyways, so I said, okay, cool, let's do this. And then we set up the event. And remember that time there was no Facebook, so oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it wasn't Facebook at that time. Anyways, so we set up the event. Oh no, sorry, Facebook Facebook was just launched at that time. It was just launched, like a few months. Um, anyways, so we set up the event, but not on Facebook, on flyers and stuff like that. But
mm.
they had to print the flyers. The designer wanted a name for the event, and I didn't have a name for the event. Everything went so fast. So I never had a name for the event, and then myself and another friend of mine, um, we were gonna do the event together because I was too scared to do it alone.
Mm.
Um, and then we were on the phone. We're like, what can we call it? What can we call it? And we came up with a few names: Rated X and X-rated, and another two names. And we just eeny, meeny, miny, mowed it. And we came up.
uh,
So X-rated because we thought it was going to be a once-off thing.
mm.
Um, when X-rated happened, though, um, it was it was such a success that the venue asked us to run some more events, and we did, and it was very successful every single time. Um, then when I played at other venues, sorry,
Mm.
um, I didn't have a DJ name either. My name was Ron Petersen. Yeah, that was
Mm.
my DJ name. Um, so when I played at other venues, they would advertise me as Ron Peterson and in brackets X-rated from X-rated events, and that's how people would recognize me. And then after a while, the brackets fell away, and the Peterson fell away, and then it
Uh,
just became Ron X-rated.
and
And then
then
yeah,
I'm curious
that's how it was
how
born.
I could just imagine you guys sitting in the room and just like scratching your head and coming up with all sorts of crazy names.
You know, worse than that. It was crazier than that. I remember myself being in a mall because it was I don't know what was happening, but I needed to be in a mall and I was doing shopping as well. And while I was walking, I was on myself. I'm like, yo, bro, I don't know what to call. Don't you know? Ask your friend, ask your mom, and we were asking anyone. I was I was about to ask someone that was walking past me, don't you know of any good names for events? That's how desperate I was.
it's it's
So
tough.
yeah,
It's
well,
tough sometimes to be creative in the spur of the moment.
yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, it just shows also that it doesn't matter where your name actually comes from. As
Mm,
when you put in the work, your name will mean something
that's it.
afterwards.
Like a lot of artists, they change their name and they produce music under different monikers, different styles of music. So I guess it goes back to if you do good work, people will find you and recognize you if that's what you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it will give the name value if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
The other way
So
around. Yeah. It's not
yeah,
about the name, it's about giving it value.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
So yeah, a lot of DJs, a lot of my students would ask, "What can I use as a DJ?" And I'm like, "It doesn't really matter. Um, there's a DJ. There's a DJ in our city. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy, or I don't know. Anyways, the this DJ's name is Fish Parcel. Come on, Fish Parcel. Fish Parcel is famous.
There you
Because
go.
that they put into DJing and into the scene. I don't know. I've never seen this person before, but I know this person. I know the name.
You know the name, yeah. There you go. And sometimes that's it. It's like a gimmick can make or break. Uh,
That's the
but
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
sure Mr. Fish had to stomach a few when he was trying to, or she was trying to come up. And yeah, do you remember before that how you got into it? How did you start DJ?
Well, it's a long time ago.
Can you
Anyway,
remember?
so
Yeah, maybe not.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
not.
yeah, 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 I can remember perfectly because
Mm,
it wasn't an all good story. It wasn't an all happy story. My parents didn't believe in DJing at all. Um, I was I was very into music. Well, any teenagers like hectically into music, but I was one of those guys that waited for a song to play on the radio because there was no other means of getting music.
mm.
She would wait for the entire week for one song just to play on the radio, and when it does play, you're running to your radio and with a tape deck, you're pressing the record
Mm.
button, and you're hoping that the DJ is not going to speak in the middle of the song or something like that.
Hope you're
Um,
not recording over your previous bootleg either.
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that was me, and then I would collect music like that. I had all the favorite tracks recorded on tape. It took me years to kind of find all my favorite tracks, and re-record them when there's DJs talking over it and stuff like that. And that's how it actually started. It started with collecting music.
Mm.
Then when I met a couple of friends, or I moved into a new area and I met some new guys. Um, the one guy had a set of what we called in that days disco speakers. That was the big boxes with the I don't we I just remember, or most people will remember the cage that the cover that they had on the front was that what you call that
Like a grill. Oh.
there we go. The grill, the like the chick grill thing over it.
Mm.
That's how we put the old equipment, the old DJ speakers. So he had the set of that. He didn't have an amp for it, and he had some mixer with some funny features on, but like a very caveman mixer. It had like a telephone button on it, like funny sounds and a bomb dropping and stuff like that. And then what we did was we took I had a CD player, a single CD player, not a DJ CD player, just a normal CD player. We took that and we took we took his disc man and we connected that to the mixer, and that's how we could basically play around with music. And then we bought another. We saved up money. We bought another disc man,
Mm.
and then we had a DJ setup kind of without speakers. And imagine how ugly that sounded, how bad that was. But people loved it. And then we would play for friends' birthday parties. We oh sorry man, we're doing an interview. Come on, get out of the way. Do you want me to start that one over?
No, no, not at all, bro. It's all good.
Okay. So yeah, okay, anyways, we
So you had
we had
two
to do
Discmans and a tape deck full of ripped tape and a dodgy
yeah yeah
mixer that was had its own sound effects.
yeah. And so we started playing at friends' birthday parties and stuff like our age group. And we had all the cool music, and that's why people loved us. And then we started playing at school functions,
Hmm.
and then our name started growing. And yeah, that's how it started. My parents, like I said, my parents didn't like it. They didn't want to hear anything about this whole DJ. They weren't convinced that it was a good thing for me because they said you're going to end up in a club or a pub drinking and um, playing for alcohol and stuff like that. And yeah, so they were totally against it.
Were they music?
Then
Were they musical people?
no, not at all. Oh,
Mm,
my dad is. My dad plays a whole host of instruments,
mm,
but yeah, not DJ. My parents are very holy. They very have to go to church every Sunday and have to go Wednesdays and have we were altar boys, myself and my brother, because my daddy was like a head server, they called it. He was the head of all the altar boys at church.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Christmas we'd have to go to church and sleep in the church and clean the church before Christmas Eve. Anyways, so to get a set of turntables, my first set of turntables, to get it I had to kind of lie. Well, not kind of, I had to lie.
Mm,
I told my parents I really want a sound system for the car. Not even my own car. I didn't have my own car. For my mom's car. I wanted a sound system. This is something I wanted to do. I wanted to build sound systems and install sound systems and stuff.
mm,
So they slowly helped me build up a sound system. And when I had a good enough sound system, I started taking it to sound offs and stuff where I would so there was a couple of sound offs that I actually won with that sound system. And someone came to me, and um my idea was to get someone to like the sound system, and I would sell it to them and then
mhm,
take that money and buy DJ equipment. And one competition that I won,
mhm. So it's
the
who's
guy
got the
came.
loudest, craziest, high fidelity sound system?
Yeah, exactly. And the one competition that I won, somebody came up to me and they're like, they want to buy my car and the sound system. I'm like, okay, cool. This is not my car. It's my car. But you can have the sound system, man. That's how I bought the turntables, and that's how I got into music. And that's how I
Wow.
got into DJ.
Yeah.
But still there was a lot more hardship, like a lot more hardships after that. Um, but I could speak about it all day. Getting music when I got turntables,
Mm,
getting the music, and I don't advise anyone to do this. I always tell my students, I really put a lot of effort into my career, and that's how I could build it.
mm,
Um, but I wouldn't encourage anyone else to go this hard as what I did. For I think about a year, my
mm.
mom was giving me the cash money to go pay my school fees every month, and I never ever paid. I would sit in the record stores every Thursday because that's when the new records would come into the syndicate records, and I
Mm.
would buy new records. And at the end of the year, obviously, she found out because the bills started racking up and the school. Yeah, I was in trouble, and then I hated it even more.
Ugh.
But now I'm okay with it after 100 years.
So you finally come to terms with it, hey? I love that story. I love that story. So you basically made your name first at block parties with kind of sound systems that you were supposedly building into your car, and eventually your mother was like, Shh, "That's not gonna fit in the car. Then it's not gonna work that way. It's not gonna work that way." And I'm sure a lot of practice, and it would have taken a lot of all the stuff to go into it, like everything, all the practice, all that collecting music, all that running to find tape and collect tapes.
That was insane. So we had a double story. So yeah, double story house. So my sound system or my radio and tape deck and everything was in my room upstairs. So there was times where I would hear the intro of a song and I'd be like, "That's the song I'm waiting for a week." I would have to run upstairs and press the record button in time, and then still um, sit there hoping that the DJ is not going to speak over the song. Yeah, it was crazy. That was I miss those days though.
Mm,
It's so easy to get music nowadays. Um, that time, I mean, I know a lot of DJs say you have to do a whole lot of crate digging and stuff like that, but
mm.
you don't know how hard it is to have to wait for something to play. You never know when it's gonna come. Yeah, it was
And you
really
surely appreciate the music more that way, right? Like
much more.
when you go song by song, you get to actually embrace it, enjoy it. Whereas if you
Yes.
go to your friend and they give you 20,000 songs and you add a set and you're trying to find one song in someone else's complicated file
Yeah.
set up, it's a nightmare. I love that, and I think that's one thing that uh, people get wrong. I think a lot, which is you don't really need that much music to start DJing. You only need enough for a set, and then you can build from there. And if you really get to know your songs, it's so much easier, right?
I think there's you are the second person that I've ever met that she's the same the same thoughts as what I do. Um, on my on my computer and my laptop and my five different hard drives, 2 terabytes, 5 terabytes. I've got all these hard drives. Um, but I only have 1 gig of music. I literally only have 1 gig of music because that's all music I need. The other music, I download music all the time,
Mm,
but if I'm not going to use it, then I delete it.
mm,
I do believe in collecting music, but the only the music that I used to play in clubs,
mhm,
it's only 1 gig of them.
mm.
I only have 1 gig. What I have on my I can fit on anyone's flash drive. Um, not a student, they're like, can't you help me out with music because I'm gonna need that to become a real DJ? I'm like, you don't need that. You need one flash drive. You just need one flash drive of music. You just need to be able to play for 1 hour. That's all. Once you start getting into weddings and those type of things, then you
Mm,
need to collect music.
mm. Well, I mean, there's a lot of streaming services now, but I just had a picture in my mind of like young Ron with like his box full of like these old cassette tapes, digging through, finding. uh, I can just picture it now, and I think it's just so much easier to have little music. It's similar to taking photos, right? Like you can only take a certain amount of photos on your phone, and same with your brain in a way. Like you can only really hold a certain amount of thoughts at once. So the more like trash you have to dig through in your hard drives, the harder it is to put together a good set.
That's exactly it. My advice for anyone, for any DJ starting out, is just put in the work to find the best tracks. But if that track doesn't make you start jumping around and bouncing straight away, then just move past it. Because it's not, we're not saying the music is not good. We're just saying that song or that track is not for you. And if you're not feeling it, then I don't understand why you want to try and play it for other people. Because ultimately, um, that is what a DJ's job is, to play music that you find because you're a professional, that you find is amazing. That's what people want to hear, and I think that's how we got lost also in the
Mm,
DJ scene. DJs started playing music that people wanted to hear. So now all you're doing is playing what they already have on their playlist on their phone. I don't see the point in that. I don't
mm,
see why people have to pay cover charge to hear you play what is already on their playlist on their cell phone. Um, they should be there. Or yeah, they should be there to hear new amazing music, and that's your job to go through the millions of gigs of music out there and find
that's
those
it.
gems.
That's it.
That
That's the DJ's job. It's to spread new music, and I often teach that like the key track is important. Sometimes you need to sprinkle in a little bit of what people know, a little bit of popularity, a little bit of um, nostalgia maybe, and you
is
just need to unlock the crowd, and then once you've unlocked, then it's free reign. Then once you've got that critical mass of five, six, seven growing and people on the dance floor,
yeah.
then you can play them whatever, and they will dance to absolutely anything. Like,
That's exactly right. Um, you all DJs should, yeah. I'm not saying that you shouldn't play pop music. You shouldn't play. anything that people know. But majority of your set should be you.
Mm.
That's my friend Grandma's. He only plays his own music, so he only plays the music that he produces, and that's what people come there for. They they pay the big cover charges to hear his new music. They don't want to hear everything else. But also
Mm.
he had to build himself up to get to that point. So obviously, somewhere in his career or in the beginning of his career, sorry, he had to play popular music and mainstream stuff before he could get to that point.
Yeah,
But yeah, we
absolutely.
could debate about that forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, in my opinion,
Mm.
my opinion, I don't see why people should pay a cover charge to hear you play what's playing on the radio or what's playing on people's cell phones playlist. Um, I think a DJ's job, and it's hard because the newer DJs, um, they get they have anxiety attacks when they see the dance floor is empty. If I don't think that's the time you should worry. You should worry when people start leaving the club or the venue,
Mm.
whatever. Don't worry when people are not dancing because people could be sitting and listening to the music. Um, so yeah, I think DJs should stop worrying about full dance floors. Yes, it's always great. It's great to have a full dance floor and people jumping up and down or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, but it doesn't mean if a dance floor is not always full that you're a bad DJ. Um, you just need to you probably need to tweak your set a bit. That's
Mm.
all. And when these new DJs see the dance floor empty, they start running to the top 10 radio hit list. You know what I mean? And that's why people have become so comfortable with or not comfortable. That's why they become so used to hearing the radio's the radio's top 100 or top 30, sorry,
Mm.
in clubs all the time. And if you're not playing it, they don't like you. Um, yeah, I know it's a lot of DJs will say, "Oh, that's the old DJs ways," and but I mean, doesn't make sense to play a playlist that people are listening to on their way to the club. What's the point then?
That's it. And like I love discovering new music. So if I'm partying and the DJ is playing new music, like that's when I'm loving it. But if they are playing songs I know, I'm much more critical. I'm listening and I'm think, especially with the DJ ear, you're thinking, oh, I know that it's too early to
Yeah,
transition, or the EQ wasn't right. But if it's the musical experience, I don't. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. It's the same as, back in the day, you had your analog distortion and maybe a radio DJ would come in during your set because you'd recorded it. But it
yeah,
wasn't about that. It was about that discovery and the music. And it's always number one, right? Like that's what it's all about. And that is
yeah,
why I guess DJs, a lot of them become producers, and like your friend, they play their own music at sets. And it is kind of a dream, and it's becoming easier as well to be able to create music now. So it's a possibility, but it takes time. It takes time. Yeah. So in your limited collection of 1 gig, do you still keep that Madonna song, the last night DJ saved my life? You still got that? Still
I
pumping it?
do. I do. Look, so full disclosure, I don't. When I say I have 1 gig of music, that's 1 gig of DJ music. That's
Mm-mm.
music that I sample. That's my music that I play with.
Mm.
I don't have all that other space available for nothing. I do collect music as well. So I have
Mm. Mm.
one hard drive for the music that I like to listen to, and then I have one hard drive for music that I've collected over the time. Um, because it's always good to go back and listen to things of back in the day. Makes you feel good again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have that. That's my 3 separate sets of music. My
It's like
DJ
looking at
music.
old photos, right? You get
Exactly.
transported back in time into, an old mindset or an old mood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in the sense of DJing, when I do listen to older music, um, I remember things that I wanted to do back then, um, but I couldn't because technology wasn't there yet. So
Mm.
there's a lot of things and I'm sure you can think of things that you would want to do DJing right now that you can't actually do because um, of the of the of the technology today. We
Mm.
A couple of years ago, let me make an example. I'm not explaining it properly. A couple of years ago, all I wanted to do without virtual DJ, all I wanted to do was be able to play say like an instrumental and then play a cappella on top of that and then play another instrumental under that one and then just move on like that all the time.
Mhm.
Um, we call it, or they call it in we are in South Africa, we call it multi-mixing. Um, but we couldn't because you would need more decks there.
Mm.
But now you can because of Serato and Tractor and Virtual DJ and all of these things. Um, we couldn't afford four sets of decks back then because it was way too expensive.
Mm.
But now you don't need it. You only need one CD player and Serato, and you can play four decks. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah,
So
absolutely. Like that was my first setup when I first started mobile DJing, like actually getting out and DJing, was a Technics 1200, like whatever mixer. Eventually, I got to a DJM not 400, 600, and
yeah,
Serato because I could do instant doubles, and I
yeah,
could
yeah,
literally, like, I could go out with that setup, and people would
yeah.
look at me like, that doesn't make sense. Like, what are you doing?
How you gonna
Like, where's the other
play?
one? And I was like, yeah, well, let's see what I can do. Doesn't matter what it looks like. And then they'd come
Yeah,
up and then, play around with it, and I couldn't quickly fade over to the next track. Or I mean, I could
yeah.
double it, but yeah, that was always painful.
So if you think back to that, um, if you think back to that, um, before that was available to us, um, I would think of things like playing, like I said, playing on four decks.
Mm.
But it would be like it took me 5 years already to build up a system to buy a
Mm.
disc man and whatever. How am I able to buy a set of CD players? So yeah, it wasn't possible. So now I think back to that time and all the tracks, all that all that ideas that I had
Mm.
and that I wanted to try, I try
Come
now.
to
Now that
reality, yeah.
now that technology is caught up, or now that we have technology to do all these things. Um, so yeah, that's why I
Crazy.
keep the because every time I listen to older music, I'm inspired and I think of things that I wanted to do back then, and then I try it out now, and most of the times it worked out.
Love that. Like the barrier to entry to DJing
Yeah,
and to music and to the tools I guess we use even. Like we were
yeah,
just
yeah.
looking before at, you can DJ in your web browser for free. You just log on www and you're on. So it's
Who would have
crazy,
thought?
crazy. And so you spent many years, I guess, DJing, and you did your rounds, you did your parties, you did your clubs, and then where did it kind of take you? I guess everyone has a different journey, and I'm interested to know, how yours looked initially. Your parents weren't so happy about what you were doing, and somehow you needed to transition to the next phase because obviously you were very serious.
Uh, Even I feel yes. A lot of people don't like to tell their stories because they don't feel like the stories stand out. But I know my story stands out, and I I wanted this so badly that I was willing to do anything. Um, and because of that commitment to this career, I actually did everything. Um, and I got into so much trouble. um, so where we went from just practicing and playing at friends' birthdays and stuff. Um, Eventually, I got well, not even proper equipment, but I got some turntables. It wasn't techniques. I always wanted techniques, but I couldn't afford it.
Mm.
Um, So I got to set the turntables. It was good enough.
Mm.
Um, and then I started getting bigger gigs than just birthday parties. Um, from there, um, some a friend of mine's brother came to me and he said, "Listen, we want you to come play. I want you to come play at the club of mine, but it was in a different city." So I'm like, if I do that, then I actually made it. If
Mm.
I can tell people I played in a different city, that's almost like becoming international back then.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I leave with this guy. We take a bus to the next city. It takes about 12, almost 24 hours. Sorry, not 12 hours.
Wow.
We travel, and then we get there, and everything just falls apart. Um, we don't have a place to go to. We don't have a place to sleep. He tells me, listen, the people in the city they don't really like people from Cape Town. Maybe you should give me all your money so that if they do attack and rob you and stuff like that, then they're not gonna find anything and we're not gonna be in trouble. So I'm
No
like,
way.
okay, cool, I trust this guy, I give him all my money. And then he's like, let's go to a friend of mine's house, and we go to this lady's house. And she says it's fine, we can wash and stuff here. And then um, we were chilling at this lady's house, and then we all decided, or he decided, we're gonna go down to a club down in the area, and he's gonna let me play. I said, now I'm so excited. So because he said that, I forget about what's happening right now and the trouble that we're in. So we go down to this club and I play a couple of tracks and I'm like I said, I'm so excited and I can't think of anything else but DJing.
Mm.
So I'm still asking, so even though we can't go to his flat, can we still go to the club, his club, and I can still play? He's like, yeah, don't worry, no problem. Anyways, so we leave the club and we go back to this lady's house and he falls asleep. And while he was sleeping, we were all sitting in the lounge. Um, this lady tells me, this girl tells me, um, why are you with him? But she's whispering. She's like, why are you with him? You should get away from him. He's bad news. I'm like, what the hell? Man? I don't know. And I
Mm.
don't know what's going on. And still at that time, all I want to do is DJ.
Yeah.
Lady's telling me, get
Focus.
the hell away from this guy. It's bad news. I'm like, I don't care. I just want to DJ tonight. Off that DJ, then I'll think of something. So he wakes up in this time because we went outside. But it was a couple of meters away. He
Mm.
wakes up and he's like, "What are you doing?" Wow, and he gets all upset. And the time that we landed in the city, the time that we got into the city until this time when the present time when me and this girl was outside, I did notice a lot of bad things about this guy. There was a whole lot of red flags, but I didn't care. I just wanted to DJ. Then he takes, he's like, "Come, we're gonna go now. We're leaving this place." I'm like, "Oh, cool, let's go." And we went to sit outside. We were in a parking lot outside a spa, and then I asked him, "What are we gonna do now?" He's like, "I'm gonna take this little money that I have left, and I'm gonna buy us like a row or something." I'm like, "What do you mean this little money that we have? I give you all my money." They wouldn't answer me, and then
No.
went into the shop. And when he came out, before he came out, the owners of the store came to me and like, "Why are you with this guy? He's bad." He's like, how does everyone know this guy? Anyways, when he came out, the lady of the store went back inside, and then he's like, "We need to leave." So I'm like, "Where are we going to?" He's like, "I don't know, but let's just leave." And we take a taxi, and we stop off at this place. I'm like, "No, what are we doing? If this place looks a bit dodgy." So he's like, "Just hold on, I'm gonna just go inside quickly." And he goes inside, comes back out. He's like, "Come, let's go. We're gonna sleep here." We were at the shelter. I had to sleep at the shelter. I didn't, and even at that point,
Uh-huh.
first thing that came out of my mouth was, "I'll sleep at the shelter, but am I still gonna DJ? Am I still gonna? I just want to DJ."
Uh,
The next morning he tried to wake up early and he wanted to leave without me. And I got up and he's like, oh, where you going to stay here? Why didn't you stay here? I'm like, no, no, I'm gonna go because I was scared. Because we didn't go DJ the night before. So I go with him. He goes to court. He said he told me he's supposed to pick up cash. I was very stupid at that. I was very ignorant, and I didn't. I was. All I could think of was DJ. So
Mhm.
we go to court. He apparently supposed to get money there or something, um, and they read out all these charges. And the first thing the when it hit home was when they called him up. They called him up.
You're in court at this point. You're going from the bus to the homeless shelter to court.
Court. And, they don't call him up as the defendant. So I'm like, but you must get your money. You have to be the defendant. That's the only thing I could think of at that time. Um, and a couple of minutes later, they sentenced him to prison. Keep in mind, I have no money. I have absolutely no money. My bags are at the shelter. How stupid can be? How can you leave your bags at the shelter? Um, my bags are at the shelter. I only have ID book on me, and that's it. He did give me a bag before he went up. Before he went up, he gave me a bag. I thought the money would be in there, but there was absolutely nothing in there. So I tried to see him in the holding cells. The police wouldn't let me, and then I begged this lady. I'm like, please, I'm from Cape Town. I don't know where I am. I don't even. I'm sleeping at the shelter. I don't even know where the shelter is. I don't even know.
I'm laughing, but that's
I don't know where I am. So she's like, okay, she'll let me speak to him. This guy tells me he can't give me the money because he needs the money more than what I do. But can I tell his mother that he loves her? And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? You leaving me here? Also, you must remember, he kept on telling me that the people in this town, in the city, don't like Cape Townians and they want to kill Cape Townians. I'm the fourth, and I don't know why. Out of everything he told me, I believed all of that nonsense. So now I'm scared. I have no money. I had to get onto a taxi and get out and run because I had no money to pay rent. And I ran into the shelter, told him what happened. This lady couldn't let me use her phone because um, they were running the shelter on donations. So I had to beg for money to make a phone call home, and I had to tell my parents that I hated DJing and told me this would happen. And I had to phone them and tell them the trouble that I was in, and hopefully get a bus ride home, or get a ticket to get a bus ride home. That was one of my many issues that I had DJing. That's one of the big problems that I got myself into when it came to DJing. Um, Besides that, but that's when it started. After that, I met a couple of good people, and DJ wasn't always bad. So yeah, I met a couple of good people. I started playing in clubs, like I said. That's when the when I started playing in the CBD.
mm,
Started playing there, and then a friend of mine had an event on a yacht, and he booked me to play at this event. And then the people that own the yacht, the Waterfront Boat Company,
mhm,
they asked after this event, they asked me if I wouldn't play at all of the charters. So when they have charter sunset cruises and stuff like that, if I wouldn't be available to play.
huh,
And I thought this was my big break, and it was at that time. I had a good job at that time. I was very young still. Um, I was still, I think, I was about 17 or 18 years old. I just started working.
mhm,
Um, yeah, no, I was very young. So yeah, I started working, and then I gave up my job to to DJ because I needed to play during the week as well. And the amount of money that I was making for one charter was the same amount of money I was making for almost like say a week's work. So it didn't
Wow.
make sense to work because I would be at work for the entire week and I could make that same amount of money in 2 hours playing on the yacht. So I gave up my job, but I didn't think that winter would come and then the yachts won't be able to go out. And then winter came and I struggled through that couple of months. Um, but then I started making demo mixes, is what we called it back then. Um, so I started making demo mixes and then started handing it out to anyone that was running events. Or
Mhm.
I tried everything. I tried everything. Um, and you know how difficult making demo mixes that time was. You needed to record it live onto a CD. And if you made a mistake, there was no going back. That CD was busted.
Yeah,
And if you
your
wanted to
money's
make
gone.
and if you wanted to make a copy, you needed to play the set over again. You can't just you couldn't. It was that single
Re
CD recording,
rewritable.
especially
Was it
reliable.
rewritable? Huh.
So yeah, I made and listen to this. I made 100 copies. So I had to play 100 times. I didn't have my own equipment, so I had to hire equipment also. So I hired equipment for a week, and I played 100 hours. I don't know how I did that. Right? I don't know when I slept.
Wait,
So
are you
yeah,
saying that every CD was original essentially, or you had to listen to it you had to listen to the same mix 100 times?
every single CD was that was me playing. It wasn't copying. It was I had to play 100 hours, and that's how
Oh,
I got into practicing also.
hmm.
Started practicing.
Must
That
have
was my
developed
practice.
a good routine for practice.
That's the thing. That's exactly it. And then even till today, every morning when I wake up before I go to work, before I would do anything, play an hour or half an hour. And like
Hmm.
now I play half an hour. But when I did have more time, I would wake up in the morning, play an hour, and before I go sleep, I play another hour. Even if I'm playing the same music over and over, I would just practice all the time. It was more to get used to the equipment.
Hmm. It's like
So
motor skills. It's like a martial art or an instrument
that's
more so, right? Yeah.
so
And you
um,
had to be persistent because if you have that kind of challenge, it's most people would give up after or like sitting at the like basically looking at the guy through at the jail cell saying, "Well, bro, what am I supposed to do?" Most people would give up at that point.
it was
So,
yeah, like and it was all the times. It only started getting easier. I think about 10 years ago. So it was half of my career was just bad times. Half of it was just bad times and struggling. But I appreciate all those bad times because uh, it helped me grow. And a lot of those times might have not been able to help me out, but now I can use those bad experiences and pass it on to newer DJs and tell them what to look out for. So I think that's what I'm happy for.
you've
But
had the
yeah,
experience. You've made all
I
the
don't want
you've made the mistakes. You've made all the mistakes you can make, right?
exactly. Yeah, but like I said, I don't want anyone to think that it's all bad times. It's hard work, but it's not all bad times.
Hmm.
One of my friends, the friend that I told you about that I used to do the event with,
Mhm.
or that I tried to host the event with, myself and him, we actually stopped. We got into an argument one day because I took a booking at the casino here in Cape Town, Grand Casino, um, and he wasn't part of that because we were kind of like like wherever you go, I go. Wherever I play, he plays. Wherever he plays,
Hmm.
something like that. Um, but this time it was they wanted just me, um, and because he wasn't involved, he wanted me to give it up. But I didn't have a job anymore, um, and I was living on my own.
Mm.
I needed to make money because I was struggling for a very long time. I was struggling, and I couldn't run to my parents, of course. I'm like, you didn't want to listen, and you did it again. Now you want us to bail you out again? Like, no. So I didn't say anything. Um, so yeah, so this when I got this contract, I needed to make it work, and I needed to take it. Um, so yeah, the two of us, we stopped. Or he didn't want to speak to me anymore. He didn't want to be my friend anymore because I took it. But like I said, I needed to do it. And after taking that contract, um, I got so many other gigs. I met so many amazing people after that. Um, I started playing out of the city more often, at big events and
Mm.
big venues. I met radio presenters that became friends of mine, and I started playing on their radio shows, and that's how I got into radio. And once I got into radio, everything just it was so much easier after that. And then I'm still at that venue, and I'm still at that radio as well. I've played on all the radio stations in almost all of them, not all. I played at almost all of the radio stations. Um, yeah, all the radio stations in South Africa. Um, I think 90% or 80 odd percent of them I've played at. Um, so yeah, I'm happy with that. And then yeah,
Absolutely.
that just helped my career so much more.
Yeah, sometimes it can just be like such a small but pivotal kind of relationship. You know, you meet one person, and that one person opens the door to a whole new way of looking at the industry, right?
Yes.
Yeah, get you into the
As,
radio.
as much as I want to tell people to be careful, um, I also in the back of my mind I'm thinking if I didn't take a lot of those risks, okay, a lot of the risks was bad, but if I didn't take a lot of those risks, um, I probably wouldn't have been able to make it to this point. Um, so yeah, if if anyone is going to take risks, try and assess the whole situation first
Mm.
properly. Um, but don't be scared to take some risk because um, you can't make it in any industry if you're not willing to take risks. And if you're not willing to go hard, then I don't know why you're doing it in the first place.
So true, the risks elevate at times. The way I
Yeah.
like to think of it is, for each time you move up a level, you kind of have to climb a ladder, and then you have to squeeze through a hole that you thought you couldn't get through. You look at this
Yes.
hole and you think, no, there's no way I can get through this hole. And then eventually, after, you know, you find some way to push through that hole, and then you see the next ladder, and you get up the next ladder, and then you look and you see that the hole this time is actually smaller.
Yes.
And so as you go, you have to figure out, you know, these challenges, and you know, eventually, sometimes you get a break, uh, but at least, you know, if you're moving up the ladder, you're going in the right direction. So it's always going to be that you have to push through. And I love what you say about
Um,
risks as well, because if you can take calculated risks, especially if you've got good guidance, and you've
yes.
got good counsel, people that you can speak to, and but people will often tell you not to do something. But if your
Yes.
heart tells you that you should, yeah, so, yeah, you got to go with your heart, really.
With regards to DJ, um, back then there wasn't a lot of people that could help you with guidance. There wasn't a lot of people that could help you with experience because everyone was just starting out. It
Mm.
didn't matter if it was the old guy in the over 18 clubs or the youngest guys at the matinees in the under 18 venues. Um, everyone was just starting out. DJing hasn't been around for millions of years,
Mm.
and the technology wasn't there all along. DJ has been along for a long time, been around for a long time, but it wasn't for that long. And in South Africa, everyone was, like I said, everyone was kind of starting out, or they just kind of became kind of professional, not even really professional.
Mm.
So there wasn't a lot of people there wasn't a lot of mentors out
Do
there.
you think that's what
And if they
drove you as well to really push through? Do you think you saw yourself as like a bit of a pioneer, and you were like, I'm gonna crack this, I'm gonna crack the code kind of thing?
to be honest, no,
No.
no, my mind was on nothing else but I want to play music.
Mm.
I didn't think of anything else. I didn't care if I was the first one or the last one or the best or the worst.
Mm.
I just wanted to play. I just wanted to play music. I could I could tell you I could make up a story and say it was like this and it was like that. I could tell you all the
Mm.
things that people would really want to hear, but it wasn't like that. All my mind could think of was play music. That's all I wanted to do was just play music.
Mm.
I never ever thought um, of being the best. And I know a lot of DJs do that. They want to be the best. I didn't care. I just wanted to play music. A lot of DJs wanted to play in clubs and play at big festivals. I never ever thought of that ever. I just wanted to play. That's all. If I was playing in my room, I was happy. If there was one person in my room that I could play for, I'm I was even happier. But I didn't. All the things that DJs wanted at that time, I didn't really care for. I just wanted to play.
I love that. I
But
love
yeah,
that.
like, I think that's why I didn't know. I didn't really. It didn't really matter. Um, when it didn't really matter to me that a lot of the older guys that time they were so stingy with knowledge. They didn't want to help you out because they thought if you're gonna do it, then you might just take over from them. And like I said, I didn't really care. I wasn't looking to do anything.
Mm.
I'm talking about younger days. I just wanted to play. I didn't really care about playing at venues. Um, my parents was buying my food and buying my clothes. So why would I want to? Why would I need to make money from it back then? So yeah, but now there's so many DJs that came up from that time. So there's a whole lot of knowledge out there
Mm.
um, that we can share with the younger guys or with the newer DJs. And I don't think we should hold that from them because, like I said, um, I'm not the only person with bad stories, um, with bad experiences throughout my career, and I wouldn't want that to happen to anyone. As much as it molded me into the person that I am today,
Mm.
I would, I don't think a lot of the kids out there are ready for the things that I went through.
Mm. Absolutely. And I think also that's the age we are moving into. Knowledge moves freely, and you know, information is the data is what is valuable, but information is kind of is free. You can learn anything
Yes,
you want. Um, but it did lead you to kind of become a guide for other people. So you
yes.
decided, so after having this kind of career in music, well, you were telling me the other day though that uh, you you had a bit of an epiphany, but you were teaching for a while. But I'll let you maybe tell tell your story because you know it better than I do.
Um, you took me after I got from hospital
Yeah,
when
you
I
were
was in
telling me.
hospital.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. Yeah. Well,
So
basically, the
yeah,
question is kind of where where did it lead to? All of you spent that many years and you built up your experience and you pushed through, you persisted, you went through the good times, the bad times, the big festivals, and you at the end of the day you got to play your music, which is what you wanted. And
this
then
is
where did it lead?
that's actually a really good question because I actually just realized this right now. Um, the whole time be pushing through and doing all of this stuff was never to make a whole lot of money to become famous. I can't even deal with a lot of people, so I don't want to be. I don't like that much attention. Um, I think the one thing I'm happy for, or the one thing that I got out of this all of these all of these years of experience was that I am able to teach or to give this experiences over to the newer DJs, and I think that's more fulfilling than uh, a good career and um, a, making a whole lot of money and becoming famous and stuff like that.
Mm.
I didn't know back then that this is what I would want or this would satisfy me. But I think this is the most satisfying part um, of my career was being able to help. The the look on a new DJ's face when he when that switch turns on, he's like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do, and they get it right.
Mm.
That's what I look for. So
Uh,
that's all I needed.
I love that. I can relate. I know that feeling you're talking about as well, and it's that moment where you see that light bulb go off, and you know that they finally got it, and it can take a bit
Thank
to
you.
push people, and people learn differently and move differently, but it's such an amazing feeling. And for you, because you've had a lot of time, some of your students have actually done very well as well. Like we were talking about, I've been watching a lot of Deejaying Gamla's music. It's so cool. He put out a lot of stuff recently, a lot of his own music, and very cool.
He- And the cool thing about and there's a whole lot more. Um, but we've been working on. I always talk about we because we work as a team. So my team consists of all the DJs um, that I've taught over all the years. We all stay part of one crew. We have a group. We have groups on Facebook. We have groups on WhatsApp. We have groups everywhere. We speak
You have a lot of
every
groups, man.
yeah.
I've seen. You got like 6 Facebook pages, bro. It's it's off the charts.
I think I'm admin. I'm admin to so many pages I can't even. Like, I'm admin to everyone's pages. I've helped so many people. Not helped them. Like when they
You
start,
have helped them. You
I
have.
help them out. So I created for them, and then I just forget to remove myself from it. And then yeah, but yeah, like the what I was trying to say was we stick together forever. Basically, it's a lifelong thing. So we I was trying to explain what I meant by when I say we. Um,
Hmm.
our group as our DJ academy and all our DJs, we take on we'll decide to take on one DJ for this year. So this year, this bad year 2020, and last
Yes.
year was Dylan's year. We decided Gamla. Um, we decided we are gonna focus just on it. So when it comes to marketing, when it comes to everything that all the skills, everyone has different skills besides the DJ. We'll all put it in. We'll combine everything and we just promote one DJ. Um, besides and when we're not promoting Gamla, we're promoting DJ School. Um, but yeah, we put a lot of effort into him this past couple of months. Um, and then yeah, we'll probably do someone new next year. Hopefully new next year. But yeah, he's been doing really good. Um, he's got the best story. He's got one of the best stories also. Um, he's and I don't know how. I like to tell the story, and when I start the story, some people get a bit cringy because they don't like to talk about the race and stuff like that. Um, but in order for you to understand the whole story, we have to speak about that. He is a white poor um, from Robertson. That's far away from Cape Town. Um, and so a boer, you know what a boer is, an
I do, but
Afrikaner.
you might want to explain it because there will be
Okay,
people that don't understand.
so in South Africa, Afrikaners, they normally called boere. Boer is a farmer, but so yeah, all of the farmers back, the white farmers back then used to speak Afrikaans, and that's why we associate
Mm. The
Afrikaans speak.
Dutchman, basically.
Yeah, yeah, we associate the Afrikaans speaking white people with the Boer. So yeah, he's a Afrikaans white guy. He contacted me on Facebook one day and he inquired about the DJ Academy. And then I spoke to him and I told him, gave him the info and I asked him where he's from. He said he's from Robertson. That's like a million kilometers from where we are. uh, so I'm like, I don't know how you're going to do this because classes are twice a week and you have to be in class and blah, 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 blah. He's like, he's going to sort it out, but am I willing to teach him? I'm like, no problem. I'm willing to teach you, but I don't see how it's going to work. You're too far away. Um, then a couple of days later, I get a call from his mother, and his mother's like, is there any way you can do a crash course? Like a crash course in DJing? I didn't see how it was going to work because I used to run my DJ classes is the longest that out of all the DJ schools in South Africa. We used to run one level would be like 6 months. So if you're looking at our three levels,
Mm.
the beginner and intermediate and the pro, that's 18 months. And he wanted to do it in 2 weeks. I'm like, I don't see how this is going to work, but I'll try, I told his mom. And then he came down and he didn't even have a place to stay. I'm like, bro, you have to take the couch. And oh, he was sleeping at another guy, another DJ, Slim Groove. He was sleeping at his house, and then he started staying here. Um, and then we started training every day, all day. We would train. He would play the entire day. If he woke up, he started playing until he goes sleep. Um, when he was done with that, when he was done with the course, I didn't think anything was gonna come of it. He was playing a predominantly I don't want to get into race again, but white music. Um, and he was a white guy, so there was no he wasn't standing out, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
He wasn't unique. It was the norm.
Mhm.
And then one day I heard a mix of his and he was playing African music. I'm like, how is this is not gonna work. And then he started playing African music, African house all the time. And then he started getting bookings for it. And he started building his name. Or he's building his he was still known as Dylan Ward, but people knew him as an African house DJ. And then he started learning how to dance like the African people would. And that was so cool, and people loved to see that.
Mm.
And that's how Gamla. Then he took on the name DJ Gamla,
Mm.
and then
What does it mean?
he I forgot.
That's okay.
um,
Google that.
I forgot. Yeah. Then he took on the name DJ Gamla. He started only playing at it's so difficult to speak about it, but he started playing at all the black events. I don't know how to say it. But like the African house events, he started playing at that way. It was predominantly black people. Um, and then he never got gigs anywhere else but those type of gigs. And he just blew up. Um, and then he started producing music and became one of the biggest gom producers in South Africa. That was really crazy. This year, um, this year he studied and trained to become a sangoma. That's a traditional healer in the black community.
Yeah,
That is
I used
not
to know Sangoma actually. It's a different story, but
so.
wow, it's like a bone doctor almost, like right? Or it's like a healer. Yeah.
That's exactly that.
Uh,
So he studied to become that. Um, Keep in mind, this was a white guy, a white Afrikaans guy.
mhm,
He now speaks fluent Xhosa. Um, his parents were pretty well off.
mhm,
Um, and they had a penthouse in Global, which is a very lonely area in Cape Town,
mhm,
on the beach. So he moved from there to go live in the one of the poorest areas in Cape Town. That was I think Langa. I think um, he went to go live in a shack and sleep on the floor. This is a guy that drove Mercedes Benz, lived in a penthouse and had money for days, and he gave all that up to go live in a shack. Um, I think that's really amazing. And
wow.
like I said earlier, if you're not willing to go hard, then I don't know why you're doing it. And that's what he did. He went hard.
Committed.
I don't even think his parents could understand that whole vibe in the beginning. Like, why would you want to give all this up for a DJ career? Um, but it's work. But we thought, even I thought it was a gimmick. I'm like, bro, you can tell me, I don't care. Whatever you need to do to make it work is like, it's not a gimmick. He feels like he's a black guy trapped in a white guy's body. That's exactly what he told me. It's really cool.
I'm hope he's cool with sharing that information, but I love that story. I love it, and I
You
think
should, you should, I should hook you up with him, and then you can speak to him.
I'd love to speak to him and ask him questions. But yeah, I think that's so important, that commitment, right? It's one of the most important parts of anything really, but DJing. Um,
Yeah,
because as a DJ, you make mistakes. Not every mix is going to be perfect, and some people just get hurt, and their feelings get hurt, and their pride gets hurt. Um, but the best DJs are the ones that are just persistent and committed. And yeah, I'm really glad we kind of got to speak on that. So we took a bit of a tangent. uh, so to try and get a bit more of on track, I guess. So obviously you teach DJing now.
yes.
So tell us a little bit. Tell us a bit about your school and about what you do and about kind of how you got to where you are at the moment.
Okay, so when I started the school, I was bored. I was bored. I had nothing else to do because by then I had made my teacher career my primary source of income. It was my primary source of income. So it was my primary career as well. I didn't have another job. So I would work on weekends when I had nothing to do during the week. Myself and another popular DJ in the city, Andy Carr. Uh, so what we decided one day was maybe we should teach people to DJ. So I'm like, yeah, but why would one? I don't feel like teaching um, people to DJ. That's stupid. I didn't not. I was that. I want the reason why I didn't want to teach other people to DJ because then I would have to give up the decks myself, and then I wouldn't be able to play. I don't want to share. I wanted to play mine.
Mine, my DJ equipment.
I was
Yeah.
playing. So I was looking at this guy I'm like, that's stupid. Why would I want to give up the DJ box? That's stupid. Anyway, so I'm like, what would be cool though is if we taught females to DJ. That way, we would get to DJ all the time and meet new girls all the time. He's like, that's a great idea. Let's do that. And we put that out there. We got hundreds of people interested. Our classes was amazing. Um, the response was crazy. And a few months of that, it was going really good because we were meeting all these new females. It was amazing. Um, but then we had so much males knocking on the door all the time. Like they also want to play. They also want to
Like, where's all the girls gone?
learn.
Ah,
So, so they
Ron's
also
taken them
wanted,
all, yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
we took it all. So what they also wanted to learn to DJ. Um, and then we opened the school. We opened the school up eventually for everyone. At that time, I think I got bitten um, by this whole teaching thing, and I was now more interested in teaching than just meeting new girls because I got a few of them. It was a bit difficult. It was much more difficult that time because um, of technology. We only had CDJ 100s that time, and to try and explain for the first time what um, BPM is and pitch control is and what pitch bending is, to try
Mm,
and explain it without being able to show them, it was very very difficult. And remember, we didn't have a lot of access to internet at that time, so
mm,
that was very hard. But once I got it right, that that feeling of accomplishment, that feeling of I don't know what you call it, but it was so satisfying to be able to help someone learn, that I just wanted to keep going. Open the school up for everyone, and we just kept growing, kept growing, kept growing up until 2 years ago. Actually, yeah, almost 2 years. In a couple of days, it'll be exactly 2 years. Um,
yeah.
when I was rushed to hospital, I had a stroke. Um, and then I was in hospital, and when I got when I eventually got out of hospital, um, I had a lot of obviously a lot of time to think in hospital, and I had a whole lot of people um, trying to help me, and I thought about all of these things, and there's one I can't even single it out for you. There were so many good things that happened to me when I was in hospital.
Mm,
Even though losing half of my body at the time for that time um, was the worst thing that could ever happen to someone. Um, all the people trying to help me, um, I think clouded all the badness, so it made everything better.
do you
So
think it was
what happened was
maybe being closer to death that made you feel all these emotions? What do you think? How did all these
you,
things rush to you? Because you kind of got a second
that,
life. Is that the way you thought of it?
that's exactly what it was. Um, there were so many emotions I can't even tell you. Like you just pointed it out. If someone doesn't point it out for me, I can't. There's so many things I could tell you, but I would need a lifetime.
Life
So
bending experience. Yeah.
so the first thing was um, getting that close to death. That was obviously one of the main things. Um, and not just being that close to death, hearing someone say it, hearing a professional actually confirm that. So when it happened, I went blind, uh, but obviously I could hear, and I got rushed to hospital, and when I got to hospital from I was laying in intensive care, and I could hear someone come up close to me, like really close to me, and say to someone else, please call his family. Can you call his family? I don't think he's got long. Don't think he's gonna last that much longer. I'm like, I hope this person is not talking about me. And but I could feel the wind of them moving past me. That's how close they were to me. So
Mm.
it couldn't have been for anyone else. And that's when I realized I'm in trouble. And then I think I must have um I went unconscious that time, fell unconscious that time. And when I woke up I was alive, but I didn't remember. I only remembered these things I only remembered when I got to rehab. Um but that's all. That's what I was getting to. All these things I only got to rehab. when I got to rehab, and I was trying to remember the way or I was trying to tell it the way I remembered it.
Hmm.
The first thing I actually remembered before I remembered that part with the doctor talking about I was going to die, I remembered that my family was standing around my bed, and my mom said, all the DJs in Cape Town, um, they um, they contacted her and they contacted my girlfriend, um, and they wanted to get their blessing so that they could do an event um, for me to raise money for me so that they could give to my family because I was the person, I was the breadwinner of the family. So they wanted to raise money. Firstly, they wanted to raise money to send me to a private hospital because I was in a government hospital. But then they wanted to also raise money to give to my family because I wasn't able to work so that my family could survive during the time. Um,
Hmm.
and that was one of the first memories I had. And I couldn't understand why all these people would wanna. Why would they wanna go play for free so to give the money to me? No, I don't feel. I didn't feel that I did enough for the world at that time to to get all these blessings. Um, and then there was a whole lot of other things that happened during hospital, and then I remembered about um, the doctor speaking about it. So all these emotions was in me at that time, and I was trying to recover. And then when I got out of rehab, um, my son's school, the principal, called me in for a meeting, and
Hmm.
eventually I went for the meeting, and then he told me he wants to he wants to exempt me from school fees. So I'm like, I don't understand why. So,
Hey, you come full circle from not paying your school fees to buy DJ gear to becoming
yeah,
a DJ and then not having to pay the school fees.
exactly. Yeah, so, like they want to exempt me from um, paying school fees, and I don't want that. Um, I want to become. I want to do what I used to do. Um, and he wouldn't hear it. He wouldn't have it. And he's like, he's not going to take no for an answer. You've been through a lot, and we want to make things easier for you in this time. I couldn't. The reason why I resisted was because I wasn't used to people doing things like that for me. I wasn't used to that type of world. Uh, I was used to a world where you fight for everything that you have. You have to fight for everything. You have to work hard for everything. And when stuff is handed to you on not even a silver platter, on a golden platter, um, it just doesn't feel right. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um,
The
and then
reality is just freaking out.
and because of everything that just happened to me, remember at this time I'm still recovering. I couldn't walk properly. I couldn't do anything properly. Yet I was still busy recovering, and my brain was still also recovering because what a stroke really is a brain attack, like a heart attack. So a stroke is like a brain attack, and so the part that got damaged in the brain when the stroke happened was still also busy recovering,
Hmm.
and with that came a whole lot of other things like depression and stuff. So I had a whole lot of things going on in my mind. Um, when this eventually cleared up or kind of cleared up,
Hmm.
um, all I could think of all the time, the when days were very dark for me, um, all of that would clear up when one of my older students would come around to me to come visit, and they would ask, "Can I play a couple of minutes on your decks and whatever?" And they would play, and I'd be like, "That sounds okay, but can't you try this? Can't you try this?" And then when I would teach them, I felt better. So then my depression would go away, and then I started teaching more and more and more and more,
Hmm.
um, and my depression went away. Completely, and I'm talking about I was on medication. um, it was bad, and now I'm completely okay, not just now, but for almost a year and a half now, I'm completely off it. I don't have to take medication anymore. I don't want to jinx it, but I haven't felt any addiction since then. Because I think I found the medication that I really need, that my
Mm.
body really wants, and that is having to or being able to teach DJing was the thing that I love that so much.
Mm.
Then when what I did from there,
Mhm.
um, because I wanted to do more, I just felt like I needed to do more for people, like people were trying to do for me when I was going through tough times. I decided to open my school up to anyone um, that couldn't afford it for free. And when I did that, a friend of mine that was a reporter or journalist at one of our local newspapers,
Mhm.
she asked if she could write the story. I'm like, no, I don't want to. Don't write the story. I don't want people to know that. I just want to do it. I'm not looking for recognition. Um, after after a couple of weeks, she just decided she's going to do it, and she wrote the story. And when she wrote the story, it just blew up, and I got more people to join, and it was really crazy. Um, and just before the lockdown, where we were um, we were teaching so many underprivileged kids, and all they needed to do, all I wanted in return was just go help your community. Um, if if the parks need cleaning and stuff like that, just let's go do it. We
Mm.
all go as a team. We go clean a park or we do anything. I don't know. We just do anything, anything to help out. And um, also, what they need to give back to the academy, to our DJ school, is
Mm.
they have to train once they are ready. They need to train the new DJs, and we just keep
Mm.
going. My idea for that is um, if if someone else is going through um, maybe depression or they're not feeling 100% happy about their lives, hopefully this could help them like it helped me. um
Mhm.
yeah, a lot, because yeah, a lot of people do ask like what is the goal for the DJ school, and what is my aim. It's not just about DJing. I always tell people it's not just about DJing. Just about trying to help in different ways. You don't know what could help someone. Um, you don't know. There's the kids out there. You don't know what could help them. But I know this helped me. Um, so now I'm going to try and teach it to them, and also try and teach them what to stay away from and what roads not to travel. So I'll kick out all the bad experiences and just try and keep them on the right path.
And
Yeah, and that's basically all
have you
now.
connected particularly with any one of them, or do you see maybe one of your underprivileged students already starting to mentor and teach others?
All of our DJs do it.
Hmm.
Not just one, all of our DJs do it. So if you ever look at our photos, our pictures and stuff on social media, you will always see a whole lot of them. Uh, you'll see a lot of them around when we're doing things.
Hmm.
Because everyone jumps in all the time. If I was to say I'm having a DJ class today, even though it's lockdown, who's gonna come teach? I'll probably have 100 of them jump. They would break the law to come teach. Um, that's that's what we do, and I don't ask them. Um, I don't know what the reasons are for doing it, but I hope it is also the same. Maybe it makes them feel as good as what it makes me feel. I'm hoping for that.
Well, regardless, it's a gateway, and it's maybe they got in it for one reason, to get girls or to, but what they get out of it is something completely different. It's an empowerment. It's a way to make money. It's a way to use your time productively, to share with other people, whether it's
Yes.
music or ideas. Uh, and that's amazing. And I guess I'm sure you connect with all your students in certain ways. Like some of them are, there's a lot of them, but I'm sure there's uh, some of your students, and we've been we've had a look at some of the socials, and we saw what was the one recently? Crazy K had she was one of your young ones who just won her local competition.
Uh, she won the high school best high school DJ. So that was last year. So she
Oh,
was
okay.
rated the best DJ that's currently in high school, the top DJ in high school, under 18 DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
she's really amazing.
she's got the bounce. She's got that. She's got the groove, and once you get that, once you got the groove, uh, and so we'll start to wrap up a bit. But I guess you touched on it a little bit. But what do you think is in the next 5 years? I mean, we're in a bit of uncertain times at the moment.
Yeah.
Uh, and we did briefly discuss about what we think could happen in the future, but when we are looking a bit forward, what are your thoughts for your school and for yourself? And it's a bit of a tough question, so it's
Uh, um, yeah, like you said, it's uncertain times. We don't know what's going to happen. Um, I've been I've been struggling with like, is this the end of DJing? Because if if you can't get gigs, then why would people want to become DJs? But there is social media as well. So they'll still be able to show off their talents to everyone. Yeah, they won't make money from it, but maybe it's a good thing also because DJing was never supposed to be about money. It was just supposed to be a passion. Um,
hmm
most of us um, have, have gotten to a point or were at the point where we didn't want to play music for money. We just wanted to play music for the sake of playing music. Um, and that is my main reason why I will not shut down. I will not stop trying to train DJs. I will not those doors will not close. Um, we are going to be open to training DJs forever as long as we can. Um, so the next 5 years, we want to grow the DJ school um, further than what and I don't mean grow it in numbers. I mean grow it in
impact maybe.
go into production,
Mm.
and then also um, changing. We need to teach DJs to change with the times. Um, this is a big change that was forced on us now.
Mm.
Um, we need to figure out ways to make to not let the art of DJing die. So we need to first figure that out. How we're not going to let it happen, and then we need to teach it to the newcomers.
hmm Got to make it
Um,
happen, figure it out, and then show other people how we did it.
that's the thing. We also the only things I can think of at the moment is we need to make it exciting. And that's why I was happy when you when we connected, and when you said you were from a different country. Um, when I spoke to my students, and I said I was speaking to another DJ from a different country, they got excited. They didn't care who you are. They didn't care if you were a good DJ or a bad DJ, but because you were from a different country and you could possibly share experiences from a different world, that excited them. And I think that's where um, I want to push our DJ school into. Um, I want to find more people from different cities, different countries, so that they can share their experiences from that side with the people this side. I'm hoping that will be exciting to everyone because I'm very excited about it. Imagine we had DJs from all different continents, and we could do conference calls or group lessons with everyone putting their 2 cents in and giving a part of their experience and some of their knowledge.
Absolutely, and I think uh, this could be. Well, a lot of people are saying, it's a reset. we're having to literally reset everything. It could be an economical reset as well, which is maybe a talk for another conversation.
yeah,
But our industry gets to start again. We
yes,
basically get to start our whole industry again, and things are still moving in the background. Streaming is really taking off, and at the moment, Mixcloud has announced that it's gonna, it's opening its streaming platform, and people are talking about monetizing streams, but it's not necessarily even about that for making money as a DJ in a streaming economy,
yes,
because what we mentioned earlier is that, well, we said that data is key, right? And building up your audience online can become one of the most valuable things you can do. Because
exactly,
imagine being able to say, "Oh, I'm doing a set tomorrow," and have 200 people show up online,
exactly,
and if that becomes then a targeted audience, and when we do get out of this, you could have those 200 people in a club anyway. You could control that,
that,
and you can, once you've connected with those people, you're creating that value. So
yes,
there'll definitely be precautions, and it's gonna take a little while to figure it all out. Uh, but people are always gonna want to have a good time, and DJs are always gonna want to play with toys and innovate and
yes,
share music and produce music and listen to music, and
yeah.
it's a lifestyle. So you can have a people argue, ever since Spotify put the crossfade feature in, that DJs were doomed, but people don't realize it's so much more than just mixing music. It's about mixing ideas. It's about innovating and creating and connecting. I think that's a big
I
part
also,
of it.
I also think, and I'm happy that you said that thing about the reset. Um, I also think that even DJs, they've lost their way kind of because the way the world was working. And what you said about Spotify putting in a crossfader and DJs feeling like that's going to kill the industry, that's not possible because our job is to create a musical experience. And a musical experience is not taking a playlist and throwing it in an auto mix. You have to build, that experience, and you have to take them on. I know this is going to sound so cheesy, but you take people on a journey. That is not easy. That comes with experience. And if you can take people on a proper journey, and they could come out to that hour and be like, that was they don't even know what happened to them. They just feel amazing afterwards. They're like, that was really cool. They don't know what happened, but that's DJ's job. And if you don't know what that feels like, or sorry, if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, then maybe you're not experienced enough, or or you're trying to learn the wrong things. People are focusing more on the technical abilities and not the actual DJ experience. All the best DJs in the world, they can take you on a journey. Any DJ, doesn't matter whether they're underground or mainstream, that is what they do. And if you leave that hour set feeling good, that's what they did to you. They did that to you. And not just a playlist of music. The way they put it together.
Hmm.
And
Like
that,
we call that music programming. Do you have a word that you use for that,
um,
or do you just call it the journey?
yeah, I haven't actually thought. I would probably do, but I haven't thought of it. I can't think of it right
Because
now.
that's the thing. There's not really a word. I mean, the closest I've come is music programming. Some people use that, but even that, it doesn't do justice. We need a better word. We need a better word for what that essence of kind of altering people's emotional state, and then uh, yeah,
That's
I don't know how
that.
to explain it. It's it's
No,
it's
that's
shifting perception, and then taking them to from A to B, and then a lot of the time, hopefully winding them back into reality.
now. This is what I'm trying to say. You couldn't get to the words. You couldn't get to the words of it for it. But You know exactly what I'm talking about,
Mm.
and that is what is missing in the DJ in the DJ industry right now.
Mm.
There's too little DJs thinking about doing that. They all every or most DJs, not every DJ, most DJs are thinking about playing the popular tracks, and they're not worried about the journey that they're giving, the musical experience that they're giving people. And like I said, if it is a DJ that don't know about it, then he's learned the wrong stuff. You anyone can learn. I can teach my dog how to play on a certain day. Not really, but I could teach anyone to play a set on a setup.
Mhm.
Um, but I can't teach them how. I can't make them understand that the whole musical experience and that journey that they need to take people on. They need to come up with that on their own. I can show them how I do it, but they need to take that knowledge and then come up with their own. Then that's where it comes with the music.
Mm.
Digging through your crate of music. That's part of that journey.
Mm.
And then you're gonna just show them when you get to the club.
And it takes a
I don't know.
while. It definitely takes a little while, but it also takes an audience.
Yes.
It's not a feeling you can really get alone,
Yeah.
and that's I think also important to by getting that exposure, by going out, by playing live,
Yeah.
and at first, yeah, you make a lot of mistakes, and even later, you always make little mistakes, but uh, DJs need some DJs, as you say, maybe have never experienced that feeling, that feeling of like the look on someone's face when it's their song. It's you've just changed everything for them. That you see it in their face, their mindset shifts, and you can connect, you can feel that feeling, uh, and it's can be fleeting at times, but with time you learn to hone that skill. And so
Yes.
you need to get out in front of people. We need to do that,
But
and you can do it in a live stream because there is ways to connect with people also, but
exactly
not
what I was
not
just
quite
saying.
the same.
This is exactly what I was going to say. I'm happy that you brought that up before. Um, this is probably with that whole reset thing. This is probably the time, like you said when you started this whole thing. Now, this is the time when you need to build your audience. Now that you got nothing to do and that you can't go outside and do anything else, build your audience, build your career, build your audience. You work on your career by building your audience. Um, and once you have um, those loyal few, and I always tell DJs, don't worry about getting 5,000 likes and 5,000 views. And you need to get that first 10 people, that first five people,
Mm.
and you need them to come back every single time. You need them to become loyal. And once they become loyal, they'll spread it. They'll
So it only
spread it.
takes about five people. Once you have five people on a dance floor, uh, if you don't have five, you got no chance. But once you have
Yeah,
five, so the sixth comes, and then
yes,
they see that they're having a good time, and it's the same. And I think as well the other thing, or what I've been doing at least, is so many DJs are going live that it's also an awesome learning experience. You get to
yes,
really watch and sit with them, and with the live streams, you actually get to engage. You can go in and you can ask questions, and a lot of the huge famous DJs are basically letting you into their booth. They're letting you
that
stand next to them, and
that's what I was gonna say. Even more important than being for me, even more important than being able to ask questions, I can actually sit and see. And I'm not in a club where I have to worry about people around me or getting drinks or whatever, or speaking to anyone. I don't drink, by the way, or smoke. uh, uh, I only vape. So I just need to put that out there because I know people drink and smoke. And anyways, for me, one of the most important thing, not one of the most important, the most important thing is I get to sit um, with no distractions and be able to watch the DJ play and listen to how he's handling his crowd. That's that I think is the most important uh, things to learn, or the most important way to learn. Because now he's got no distractions, or she's got no distractions, and I have no distractions. And it's just like we're there alone. That's the best way to learn.
Mm. So intimate. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's one-on-one DJ lessons from every DJ in the whole entire world.
That's awesome. So, well, we've been chatting for about an hour and 40 minutes, which is
Yeah,
pretty crazy. Uh, and I mean, the last time we spoke, I was talking about, we were talking about how we can help each other and collaborate and things like that. And basically, it's a bit of a surprise because I haven't told you this just yet. But
yeah,
what we're going to do is on the DJ Mentors website, we're going to put a DJ Mentors donate page. So that page, it's going to be djmentors.com/donate, and all the money that you donate will go directly to your school to help out, to buy equipment, to uh, basically, yeah, keep give you the ability to scale, bring more of these underprivileged students in, because that's what we spoke about. We align. We have basically the exact same goal. I'm surprised, you know, we basically share a brain cell in certain ways
yeah,
from across the world, which is scary.
yeah,
And so that's what we're gonna do, and we'll have to talk about this and set it all up in the back end, and we're gonna sort that out, and obviously, and we're gonna keep keep working together to come up with some cool ways that we can help spread the message, and I guess empower people through DJing.
yeah. I I actually have something that I was talking about. We obviously we're done. We're not we're done with the interview. Eh?
Yeah, we can
Oh,
call it there. We can call it there.
no, I just this is not something that I would want to put in there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just before we go into that, we'll just thank everyone. Thanks for if you've actually watched this far. That's amazing. And
That is amazing.
yeah,
Oh,
so you listen to us uh, kind of dribble all this out.
yeah.
And I guess, is there anything you want to say to the people? Is there any like last words, maybe some advice? Feel free to kind of shout out what you're doing, but any, I mean, this is putting you on the spot here, but do you have?
That I was going to say that, and we spoke about this just before the interview.
Ron
Like,
gets
no, no,
nervous. Ron gets very nervous on the stream, so we're trying to make him as nervous as possible for the closing. Uh, but I think you've
no.
shared enough wisdom, so I mean, maybe you can just shout out where people can find you
Okay, cool. So well, everywhere
everywhere.
on
Okay,
Facebook.
well we've put the links around the video, so they
Okay,
can find you. They got your main Ron XSA, so Ron XSA South Africa page, which is where your main social is, and then you've got Ron's school, so the Underground Pro DJ Academy, and on Instagram he's at underground underscore pro underscore DJs. So if you want to follow his school, stay up to date with what he's doing, and keep track with all the stuff, all the cool things that we got coming. Uh, but yeah, if you're happy, we can end it with that.
yeah.
All right. Peace out. Peace out, world.